So here's why these old fucking baby boomers voted against their damn best interests. It's because they fall for the charm of Joe Biden, and they completely do not get the fact that Joe Biden was on the side of civil rights, but he was not on the side of desegregation. Bernie Sanders was the only person who spoke out at African American meeting of congressional leaders, talking about the subject of voter suppression in Florida, which helped Bush win the 2000 election, disenfranchising the African American vote. Joe Biden is a complete shill of the top 1%. Like Hillary, Joe Biden voted for NAFTA. These old ass boomers don't get it. These stupid fucking people get older as time goes by, but it doesn't mean they get any wiser. They just continue to be gullible. They continue to watch their mainstream news. It's really sad to say, because Joe Biden was a big supporter of NAFTA, and it's really sad for these old fucking people, because Joe Biden has tried to cut Social Security for 40 years, and Bernie has been fighting for your right to still receive your Social Security and Medicare, and Bernie's been fighting to expand it. But Joe Biden lets Republicans get what they want because they compromise completely and they just give in to the Republicans. And before he voted for the Iraq War, he was like, we have to take out Saddam. We had to take out Saddam. And Bernie Sanders, we the people's candidate of America, independent senator Bernie Sanders, voted against Iraq, but yet the young people who are not fucking lazy show just how smart and how wise they really are compared to these old ass boomers. How about you old ass black boomer who voted for this racist Joe Biden, who said, these segregation policies are going to send my kids to the jungle. He voted against, he was against busing poor minority people to their public schools. Kamala Harris made this a big deal during the debate. I think what Kamala Harris talked about, I think, was contained in this article, if I can pull up an exact quote. Indeed, this was brought up. Biden's decade-long opposition to federal mandated busing came back into the spotlight during the first round of the debates. Kamala took a shot at him. There's a little girl in Cali who was part of the second class, the integrated public schools, and she was bused to school every day. That little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. And so he preferred expanding affordable housing as a tool of integration over the actual busing of these poor minority kids to public schools. It shows the hypocrisy of Joe Biden. He's just conservative Democrat, and the people that we have to blame are the lazy ass people, the lazy ass young people who stayed home. And then, so the thing is that the primary wasn't outright rigged like it was in 2016. The thing is that Joe Biden is far more liked compared to Hillary Clinton. The fact is that Biden got the vote from the moderates. Sadly, the uninformed African Americans don't understand that Bernie got arrested for protesting civil rights. Sadly, they fall for the charm of, Joe Biden was the best friend of the first African American president. And these stupid old ass boomers continue to vote against their damn fucking best interests. As far as I can tell, they're no different than Donald Trump supporters. And you mind, I tell you, Joe Biden was for the war on drugs, I imagine. He had to be against gay marriage. The reason why the whole script calls for the first female president being elected, the whole reason we have that going on right now, the whole reason why Joe Biden says that his female president's going to be a woman, it's because in the crime bill in the 90s, Joe Biden helped pass the violence against women's provision in the act. So in the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act, He voted for the Violence Against Women Act, so that's where we get the script of the female running mate. And then the female president elected after the death of Joe Biden at 77 years of age. The 2020 election, the first thing that comes to mind is that Biden is born on the 20th day of election month, November the 20th. Donald Trump is born on June the 14th of 1946. 1946 is a 20 year. He's done in the year 20. Donald Trump is a 31 birthday numerology. Joe Biden born 11 the 20th. The whole impeachment of Joe Biden, the whole scripted election with that. And then when you add up November the 20th of 1946 is 16. 1942, I should say, that adds up to 20. So this is where we're getting Joe Biden here. 7 days after Election Day is his birthday. United States, maybe Donald Trump's 7th bankruptcy. This was all predicted in The Simpsons. Joe Biden is a complete show, the top 1%. He's a big compromiser for Republicans. Now I like to go see what was Biden for the Bush tax cuts. Did he vote for the Bush tax cuts? I mean, this article goes into detail, though I think that's a blog that I just clicked on. Okay, he'll post a tax act, but you get it. Oh, I'm against some things, but I'm against Medicare for all. And Joe Biden said that well, we're not looking for a revolution. If you ask me, the propaganda is working out well from mainstream TV. Older people watch mainstream cable news far more than younger people, so I think the propaganda machine is working a lot. If you ask me, the propaganda that only Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump, and Joe Biden is not for Medicare for all. He's for all the insurance company. He constantly rejects Medicare for all. And sadly to say, these people completely voted against their best interests. It's really sad to see. It really is. Joe Biden's an Irishman, and he pretty much won the. He pretty much run the front runner status on the St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, when he won Arizona, when he won Obama State, Illinois, and when Joe Biden won the state of Florida. And I went into detail in that video, but the reason why the whole script is calling for Biden is because we're calling for more experience, because Donald Trump is completely incompetent and narcissistic with this lack of experience. So I think that's why these older people want Joe Biden, is because they want some experience and competency in the White House. I think experience is going to be a big part of it. Also, Joe Biden is born at one of the swing states, Pennsylvania, and there's a perception that he is quietly relating to these workers. It's Scranton, that's 32. It's Obama, that's 32. It is liberal, that has too much of 32. It is credit, that has too much of 32. Joe Biden's a show the credit card industry. He's been really friendly to credit card companies. He was a United States Senator from Delaware, and Delaware is where a lot of these credit card companies are headquartered at. So where did I? Why do a lot of credit card companies come from Delaware? So I was looking into this last night. So Delaware is home to many credit card businesses like Chase, Discover, Barclays, US, and it was all because of a decision 40 years ago. It had to do with integrating these high credit card interest rates to other states that have anti-usury laws. In 1978, Buckley versus Vallejo decision 1976, that paved the way for big money, and now the conservatives in the Supreme Court were helping credit card companies, continue their assault pretty much on the people because they wanted people to use credit cards more than they were suppressing wages when they shipped the jobs overseas. So this is how the economy is rigged, everybody. It is completely rigged. And the student loan debt cycle, helping banks, that's completely rigged too. People move up the ladder, but they just see a lot of debt. The First National Bank of Omaha mailed credit card offers to residents in Minnesota. They sued the Nebraska bank for violating the state's usury laws when it integrates as no interstate banking. So the rate that you were charging in Nebraska, they were charging in Minnesota, but that violated Michigan law before the Marquette decision. Banks trying to send credit card offers to out-of-state consumers ran to state usury laws, limited how much they could charge in credit card interest. Federal law prohibited banks from operating branches outside the home state unless it got permission to do so. What that decision pretty much allowed them to export interest rates from the states where they were located. It didn't prohibit interstate banking. It let them do what they want pretty much. And so this helps explain how they. This pretty much explains the current climate today. And now let's see there. How did this get in the detail with Delaware? So you get my point. Many of these credit card companies are headquartered in Delaware. Joe Biden, helped these guys, with all their hidden fees and all that, and they can charge whatever interest they want. So he's a complete shill. I have to go read the rest of this, but this helps explains Joe Biden's coziness with the credit card industry. You old boomers are completely gullible and fucking retarded. You guys really piss me off. You can't get outside of that cable news. You guys did not do your research. You continue to be gullible and blind, my friend. I mean, Bernie Sanders was the only one who's going to defeat the establishment, but I can totally say that Joe Biden's not going to cut taxes for the billionaires. And any corporate Democrat is better than any Republican. And the people's voices have been heard. The progressives and the moderates have teamed up. Joe Biden's going to name a progressive as his vice president. And then, same shit happens, and then we see these radical right-wing extremists, the libertarians, try to really fuck things up towards the late 20s, and I have to see this getting really bad before it gets any better. But we gotta get this money out of politics, and we can't really change anything until we get these old ass boomers out of the way, and until you get your ass out to vote. So, the Biden people, you guys are just like Donald Trump, but Biden is better than Trump any day of the week. So, it's all bullshit. It's all fugazi, and I would totally prefer Warren over Biden in the White House. It's a shame. It's a shame that Biden was all arrogant and talking down and being all condescending when Warren was speaking out against the credit industry and speaking on behalf of consumers as an advocacy of reducing the amount of people going bankrupt every single year. So I will link that video here, and I really hope that Biden is just gone, and we can nominate somebody else. But it may take the coronavirus to do that or whatnot. And it's been a crazy year so far, and I think the craziness is going to hit the DNC. But these people completely voted against their best interest. There are some much better candidates in the Democratic Party, and this here is why we're not seeing 2016 that. They're giving this guy all the support that they want, and I have no clue why, but no matter what, we have to defeat Donald Trump. And that's what counts, and, these people will get what they deserve if they don't see enough progressivism during the next couple of years. And this would be why right here. They really voted against their best interests. I suppose it's slightly better than voting Republican, but nonetheless, Bernie Sanders was right there on a silver platter, and you guys really let me down, man. You guys really did, and America continues to be one of the most uneducated, brainwashed countries in the modern industrialized world. I mean, we really let down the world, but we'll let the world down even more if America finds a way to re-elect Trump.